Hi, this is Josh Kulp for Daf Shevui. We are learning Masechet Avodah Zarah. We are on Daf Kaf. And I wanted to show you before, you may hear the noise in the background. And before I start talking about the lesson I want to teach and talk about from this week's daf, the yeshiva where I usually work, the conservative yeshiva, is very crowded. So I decided to come outside on one of these last warm afternoons here in Yerushalayim. You may hear the noise of the traffic, but I thought I would show you a little bit of where I am. I'm going to show you a little bit of a video. This is the yeshiva right back there. That is our yeshiva building. You can see there Rachov Agron. You can see other parts of the old city. And here is the youth hostel next door. I just thought I'd give you a little bit of a flavor to change up pace, to show you where I am instead of sitting inside. And you may hear sirens going. We are on a major thoroughfare here. I hope you can hear this video. I hope there's not too much noise. But this is where I work, so welcome. The Gemara today has a discussion that I wanted to talk about. That's very loud. Sorry, wait a second. And there goes the ambulance. So the Gemara has a discussion about observing the beauty of, particularly of women, but there's also a few other issues that come up. The commentators are clear that the same, at least for the beginning of the sugya, applies to viewing the beauty of men. But I wanted to offer my take on this, the distinction that comes up in the sugya and the relevance it has for today. I will admit this is my take on it. We hear here Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel. He's on the steps of the Temple Mount, right down the street over here, and he sees a non-Jewish woman, an idolatress, if you will, who is exceedingly beautiful, Na'ah biyoter, and he says, Ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai, how great are your works, O Lord. And this, of course, within the context of the sugya, contradicts what we just learned, that a person is not supposed to observe an idolatrous woman, a non-Jewish woman, and say how beautiful she is. And we also get later on, a couple lines later, that a man should not, and again this is very gendered, should not look upon even the clothing of a woman, and should basically not look on a beautiful woman in Isha, even if she's not married. Men shouldn't be looking at women in that way. And there's a certain a simple reading of the Breita, and I realize it sounds very antiquated, very strict, very much not something that we live by in our society, but there is a discussion that we still have, and that's the difference. When is somebody objectifying another person? And I want to suggest an avenue of thought in this sugya, even if it's not the simplest avenue, that I think matches that current modern discussion. Today, the word to objectify somebody else means we're treating that person as an object for our own gratification. I may look at something, and it's perfectly okay for me to look at, for instance, a pair of running shoes, and to objectify that pair of running shoes. If I don't like those pair of running shoes, I can throw them away. I don't have to buy them. I can say bad things about them, and it really doesn't make a difference. It's not harming any person, because those running shoes, either they're good for me or they're not good for me. If they're not good for me, I want nothing to do with it. You get the picture. For other people, I'm not supposed to be objectifying another person. I'm not supposed to think about another person as just there to fulfill my own gratification. And looking at another person, male or female, and noticing their beauty, while it's a natural thing that I will admit we all do, and thinking of them as only an object which gratifies my eyes, my sexual interest in such a person, or whatever it may be, is turning that person into an object, a person who's there for my gratification. But admiring a person in the sense that the sugya talks about, where Ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai, how great the world is in which you created God, or haroeh briot tovot, somebody who sees beautiful creatures, can say, Baruch shekacha bara be'olamo, blessed is God who created these people in the world. And in that sense, we're not talking about our own utility. We're talking about praising God, which I think is removed from the immediate human being. And we're talking about praising God and thanking God for creating an aesthetic sense in us, which can add beauty to the world. And we all would like beauty in the world, whether it comes from a person or art or morals or music or architecture or anything. There is, I think, room to be thankful for the world in which we live in without turning that person into an object for my gratification. I realize that might be a hard line to draw, but I think that that's what the Talmud is trying to more or less teach, or at least that's what one of the lessons that I would get out of today's Talmud.